Days gone, I won't waste another one. Oh, darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, my sleeper awake. I won't let the future escape. Oh, my sleeper awake. I won't let the future escape.
We're not the only ones.
the ground. Oh, it's like us. It will fill the air around. Oh, not sleep away. Oh, let the future escape. Oh, not sleep away. Oh, let the future escape. Shining dreams take me back to you. In the night when I heard your call. When I
the FIFA E World Cup Finals live from the Gamers 8 here in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. It is just gone 10 o'clock local time here in Saudi. We're not tired, we've only been on air since what, 4 o'clock this afternoon? No biggie. I mean, the mechanics have now been in and we are assured that everything has been resolved here. We're not going to have any more technical problems tonight, I promise. I can't keep that promise, but I will try as hard as I can. Well, we had groups A and B earlier on, group C and D, a bit disjointed. We are about to get back underway. We've played round 1 in group C. This is how those results played out. Ducks America 2-1 to Goliath Gaming. RB Leipzig, that was a problematic match, wasn't it? 1-0 over Riders. And then Ajax 3-1 to SPQR. Woo, I'm really happy to say that round has been completed. Aggie, Mike, Lee and Alex are all with us here. 30 seconds till we get going is what I've just been told. Let's quickly look at Group D as well. Atlanta Wave 2-0 over DC. Brombury 3-2. That comeback was on for Man City, couldn't quite hold on there. Team Flash, Apogee Poland 0-0. That's how it looks. Round 2 then. I believe we're ready. We can get cracking then with some more FIFA here at the E Club World Cup. Let's go Riders then, Goliath Gaming. We are ready for it. And breathe, guys. We're going to see some virtual action. Pump for this, guys. Right.
It's all right. We're all awake on the couch. Honestly, we are all here. You were just having a great old time there on your own. I thought we'd leave you too. But yeah,
I wasn't letting us waffle. I was getting us straight in.
We should get back down to it. We're back at the group of death, guys. Group C, and obviously one of the big matches was RB Leipzig 1-0. It's kind of like setting the stall early. We heard from Anders and earlier on with Spencer. Spencer was the word I couldn't remember for some reason. Talking about the fact that they are the favourites, you know, they're coming into this one, they feel they have got their favourite tag, despite the fact previous champions were beaten, and that puts the stall out early for them, honestly.
Well, first opening goal then, as we get underway again, SPQR over Ducks America.
But the best way they could have started as well, coming off a tough loss versus their Brazilian counterparts. And also we should say, if anybody didn't benefit from that break, it might have been Ducks, because they had a late winner, 88th minute. A lot of times you can carry that momentum into your next match.
Yeah, exactly. SPQR in their first fixture, it was that South American derby, wasn't it? Ajax, Brazil they're up against. They did lose that one. So Ducks America then are looking for something, looking for a comeback here. Really experienced side, haven't they? Zizinho and Neat there, so you wouldn't think it's going to be that difficult, but this South American side is pretty tough. Well, this is C. Group D though, also some great matches in that one. We've seen Man City actually, they finished 2 of their matches, so they're sitting out of this if you did worry why there wasn't another team playing. They're up against DC United in that fixture and won that one 3-1, Mike.
And if you're asking how Bromby's already up 4-0, this had already started before we had all the different separations from the stream and whatnot. So they're just carrying on from that point. Bromby's been super dominant thus far today, scoring a ton of goals. As August was saying, extremely fluid, and I would agree with them. When they're attacking, the way that they're moving with their players has a certain rhythm to it, and it's difficult to guess what's happening and when it's happening.
Yeah, we also see a lot of the other competitors are looking out for them. We heard Ololito from Team Hullet X Ninjas in Pyjamas saying that Bromby really impressed him, and it's a team that a lot of teams have the biggest respect for.
Yeah, exactly, and that's obviously who we're seeing. We can go to the SPQR matchup. We've had another goal over there in that matchup between the South Americans in that game. They're taking on Ducks America, remember?
Yeah, equaliser for Ducks America. You can see quick Hullet header. It's something we saw developing obviously through the groups and obviously 2v2 play. The crosses are starting to really come into their own now. Everybody's starting to make use of it. Hullet header wasn't something I was expecting, but the Hullet bullet, it was a thing back in the 80s.
Well, let's go then to another game. Alex, you've been across this one. Where are we going?
We are going over to Riders, Atletico Madrid and Goliath Gaming. It's actually Goliath Gaming that have taken that lead. It was Riders who have been a little bit slow on the ball. Obviously, we've just had that big break, and maybe that's playing a part into it. I'm sure we'll go over to that in just a second, but we are currently with Ajax and RB Leipzig.
Actually, 2 world champions in that as well, but we'll go to the Goliath goal, which Alex just teased us with.
As I was saying, just dawdling on the ball ever so slightly. Tugan and Donny, Pele just receives that. If you give Pele that time and room inside the box, absolutely no hesitation. He will find the back of the net. So for Kalen and for Bonucci right now, they're going to be looking good and feeling confident knowing they've got a 1-0 lead. However, Tugan and Donny, very difficult pair to score against, but also just stop them from coming down the other end and scoring as well.
Well, this is exactly what happened in their first match for Riders as well. Defending champions, they couldn't quite find their way through first. RB Leipzig, they got the first goal. Now Goliath has, and they couldn't come back from that twice.
Ironically, the same for Goliath. They scored first and weren't able to hold on to the lead. So for both parties, this wasn't necessarily a positive move in the last go-around.
It's what we call deja vu.
Aha.
Deja vu, I like it, Aggie. Well, this is a very tight set of groups as well. Group C and D, much more close affairs rather than we had in A and B.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got Ajax Brazil versus Red Bull. I mean, it's probably arguably as tight as the game was before. This one's been a very defensive one. Obviously, you've got the national champions, effective Brazilian team, players in their PhD in there. Obviously, it's playing in all 3 competitions as well. Up against RB Leipzig. It's a tough, cagey affair. 34 minutes gone so far, nothing scored.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. In Group C, I'd be shocked if we don't have a lot of interchanging of results.
We're actually going to go back to Bromby. They've just had another goal, Mike. 5 now. We left them, didn't we? And they had that pause on 4-0. This is their 5th.
Yeah, another quick little sidestepping, another goal, adding some insult to injury. This game's been done. They wrapped it up before half. But I want to say in Group C, you're going to have a lot of interchanging of results. You're dealing with 6 players individually or collectively that have already won global titles.
Yeah, massive.
Surely you're going to have some draws in there, and some wins, some losses. It can't go by the book.
Well, we're going to jump then into that Ajax game that Lee was talking about. First goal then for these guys comes from Anders and Umir. Anders saying they are the team to beat.
Lovely usage there of the new heel-to-heel ball roll skill. It takes it around the goalkeeper. It kind of moves side to side. It reminds me of the it reminds me of the La Croqueta back in 2019 where you can have those quick side-to-side movements.
Yeah, it's what it's all about, just shifting the ball from one foot onto the other, duking out the goalkeeper movement, changing the body angles, getting you into the position that you want. RB Leipzig though, Anders, he wasn't happy with that break. We could see that he was getting a little bit irritated with that as we do switch over. We have got a goal over in Atletico Madrid Riders game. And if you are an Atletico Riders fan, you're going to be very happy because it is going to be them picking up that equaliser. And as we take a look at the highlight, Tuga and Andoni, what they can deliver best on this event is goals from corners. Whips it in, goalkeeper's nowhere. Simple as you like. But Mike, that's something that Tuga and Andoni, last year, they must have got goal after goal after goal from set pieces.
Well, as we just pause on that, let's get to another one from Leipzig. They double their lead, don't they, over there in their matchup.
And this is the danger when you're dealing with RB Leipzig, especially with Anders. We talked about him, but once they get going, it can get ugly relatively quickly. A little ball roll there, re-angles. Simple finish when it's all said and done, and it's one of Alex's favorite players with Savic.
It is, and you know when Anders Bergkamp is feeling it, the gritty comes out as well.
Well, that one's very much done then. Bromby, 6-0, 89th minute. We have very much seen them put that game to bed.
I think they saw the stat come out of the Saudi Arabian team scoring the 12 goals. They got the most goals in the tournament. They're like, again, 6 in one game. And then they're trying to prove a rest something here. Now, your boys are Augustine. There's these, I don't know, 6-0. This is looking good.
Who do we all take for these groups? Since we've got Alex, we've got Lee over here. What's the predictions look like? Update us.
So we already mentioned this a little bit earlier as we go to half time in Group C for all the game. Lee said Raptors A. B was Exceed, C RB Leipzig and D Atlante. And then we had Alex said Footwas A, B Exceed, C Riders, and the same for D, Atlante Wave. So that's how the scores look to the boards. At the moment, Raptors went sailing through, didn't they, so far on day one?
Through tomorrow. It's all good. It's all
Well,
good. Yes. We're not panicking. We're not panicking.
Confident-ish. Right, let's go back then to our featured game. That is Ducks there.
Well,
And
Ducks
SPQR.
It's been going. I mean, obviously just got back underway for second half. Obviously SPQR broke first. I do feel this is a game that could decide who goes through in that group. Obviously top four. When you've got a group with Ajax, with Red Bull, with Riders, you've got to assume those three are going to go through. So it's a case of who takes that fourth place. This is a game that could really decide that between the two. Ducks America, you would ordinarily put your money on, but SPQR are making a good showing here.
Well, there we go. This one is still one apiece, but we have got another goal to bring you from the Ajax game against RB Leipzig as well. RB Leipzig, of course, they went ahead 2-0, and then Ajax Brazil, they just try to find something there, Mike.
It's a bad mistake. It's unnecessary. You're kind of juggling the ball around. Maybe you're feeling a little too comfortable, too confident. Leipzig out of the back, and then you see the instant counter-attack, and you're punished there from Ajax, and it puts them right back into the game.
Yeah, right back in it now. Only one goal separating these two teams as we just on 55 minutes in this match. Long way to go for all of these matches. They're all pretty much at the same stage as well, which is pretty exciting. But the other games are pretty level. Goliath and Riders one apiece, Ducks and SPQL one apiece, and the one we're looking at 2-1 there. The group super tight. Did you expect this? We were kind of saying this is the group of death over there, Aggie.
Yeah, I think we should expect that the teams will beat each other, and it will be very, very tight games. We'll see mixed results. We'll see surprises as well. I mean, all teams have a role to play in the group, and it would be a very, very big statement from Leipzig to go out and beat first the defending champions, and then after one E-Nations champ and an experienced player such as Resende, but maybe their comeback is on.
Well, if the comeback is on for anyone, it would be these guys. The two from South America, one's a reigning champion. They're both champions in so many different competitions. They've got such experience as well.
And yeah, that's what I was going to say. Resende, we've seen on the scene consistently since 2018. And PH Zin's kind of been next up and been one of the faces of Brazil for the last two and a half years, give or take.
And would you say the SPQR lot, the two there, they're actually like the next generation of South American players coming through?
It's very possible. I always say this, and I mean it wholeheartedly, genuinely. Brazilians at tournaments are terrifying, because you might not know a lot about them sometimes, and they come out, they're fearless, they give you a different way of playing the game, and probably the biggest nation of undiscovered talent, just because they don't have as much happening internally where we see them a lot. So when they get to internationals, they're always ready. They're prepped. It's like they're putting on for the country.
Aggie, would you agree with Mike there?
Definitely. You never really knew what was coming unless you've been playing them before. And one great example was not a Brazilian, but an Argentinian player. I remember in FIFA 18 that I had to play against him. His name was Nicolas, and I didn't know who he were. And
you learned.
I remember it well. Yeah,
I definitely learned. So I mean, like, and after that it was Jago, and they just kept coming.
Yeah, they just keep coming.
And
Matthias is there too.
I like to define, like every region has like a way of expressing their FIFA skills. And South America is very raw, very natural, very aggressive kind of game style, and you never really know what to expect, and that's what makes them so great.
That was Apogee Poland there, wasn't it, on the screen with Atlanta Wave? And actually, that was quite surprising for me that Atlanta Wave couldn't break through on this team that aren't possibly as experienced as Stingray and Fuma, who we're expecting so much from, Alex.
Yeah, they are expecting a lot of themselves. Stingray last year with Saf, runners up. He had Konkai as his teammate. Konkai not as much known as we do see a goal come through from SPQR, that header. Going back to Stingray, kind of said to Konkai, look, we can go all that way. So for him this year with Fuma as well, that 2v2 partnership, I'm sure they'll be very much up at the top of that side. But right now, 0-0 in that game. Still 5 minutes left to play as substitutions come through. I'm sure we'll get a replay very shortly on that goal.
Let's jump over to a match then that is currently underway. No pauses here for Ajax and RB Leipzig. Well, here we go on the attack at the moment with RB. What are they going to be able to mount? Anything here? No, not quite. Pause as well in this one. Let's jump over then back to that Atlanta Wave game. It's 5 more minutes out of that one. Let's just see if anyone can get a results coming out this one as we wrap this game up in Group D?
It was interesting to hear from Spencer. Obviously, he talked to the Polish team. They were all having fun during the break. Obviously, they were talking about the fact that the Polish nation is effectively behind them. They're young kids coming through. Like, it's not the massive experienced team. Obviously, you got Furman in there who's been around for a long time, but you got obviously Match in there as well. This is a team that's looking to do something. For Apogee, though, they've not scored a goal in the tournament yet. We're 2 games in, they've not scored a goal. It starts to get a little worrying when you haven't got that first goal.
It's also the next generation of Polish players. We always talk about Damien, excuse me.
yeah.
And he was always the face. There was really nobody else there.
Yeah.
Furman last year came in. We saw E-Nations, a lot of success there, getting to the finals. And it's just not a nation that produces a ton of players or a ton of quantity. So this is kind of the next group that's coming in that we're getting kind of a glimpse. Can they do it? Can you have that back-to-back? Do you have that consistency?
Well, yeah, that game has finished then 0-0. We're on a pause in RB Leipzig, pretty much. Oh, it's almost, sorry.
Not quite finished.
Not quite.
Maybe
We've got a
there's
last kick. Maybe.
jinxed
Oh,
it.
there we go. Straight into the hands of the keeper. So that's our stream 3. We've got pause on there. They might get the pause before 90 minutes. Otherwise, it says 2 all there. Last attack for Ajax then. No, kicked out
I think Leipzig
by
are going to be
Leipzig.
unhappy with that. They were 2-0 up, to go 2-2, to let those 2 goals in. Obviously, they're looking pretty solid before that, but still, it's a point on the board.
We were talking about this with SPQR and Brazilians in general. I just think of even the likes of Capaldi, who's also a world champion, or Barreto, or Young. I really rate Young.
They're not here in MGCF.
But I'm just giving like a list of talent pool of guys that you maybe didn't know a lot about until a couple years ago. They come onto the scene, they win immediately. They don't need multiple years. They don't need a lot of time. They're already there. Even as a teenager, they're ready.
They don't seem to have those stage nerves that some players get affected by, right? For SPQR, by the way, both goals came from a Hullet header so far, who has been substituted off. I'm just going to get it out there. But they have been the team that's been the most attacking throughout this one. I've been watching it in the corner here. They, obviously the team in red, they've been pretty much on the ball, and they're having a decent attack here. It's just a little too far.
Alex, you would expect a little bit better of Ducks America there. Such an experienced team with Neat especially.
I'm going to be honest, I was actually watching a different game. I was taking a look at Riders, Atletico Madrid and Goliath Gaming. Goliath have been in their own half for the last 25 minutes. They get one over the top through ball and they nearly snatched the winner. That's what I was getting excited about, thinking, could there be a chance for Goliath to rampage through?
Well, we'll just play out this then. We've got 2 minutes, so now Alex can give us a complete rundown for the final 5 minutes of that Goliath Gaming. He teased us with it just now, but Goliath Gaming, of course, the South African team with Kaylin and Bianchu and Boosie possibly. She's not here.
Ooh. Good challenge.
First team from South Africa to qualify for this particular event as well.
And it's interesting because obviously Jules Bianchi is often the coach for Kailan in that team. I've been to tournaments before when he's been coaching them, aka the Beast Bianchi. But you mentioned it at the start, Mike, the fact that they do get that early goal in and then it's kind of like shut up shop and try to defend. You mentioned they've been in their own half for 25 minutes. I think a point here they'd be delighted against the current reigning champions.
This is a good result if they can close out for them. We still have another chance that looks like it's going to be created, but it's kind of like the Mike Tyson quote, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. I feel that way when you go up against Tuga and you go up against Indonia. You have a plan until they score a goal or they start putting you under pressure or they never give you the ball. Sometimes you just sit there and watch them pass the ball. And I'm talking for 20, 30 minutes of FIFA game time. It can go like that.
Pretty much that is what this game has been so far in the second half. And one thing I find fascinating with Tuga especially, half-time, he used that whole half-time to click and go back and look at things where they could have done better. Oh, we went on the byline here, we possibly could have looked for this angle, looked for that. They just find ways to create opportunities. They have a good working relationship where they talk to one another and they say, what can we do to try and find a goal? And it actually came from a corner that just found its way.
And that's rare. We saw visual frustration, especially going into the second round there. They don't look happy. Of course, they have that initial loss to Leipzig, now drawing a game that maybe they feel like they should have got more points out of, but they didn't. They didn't convert those chances. But it's still rare for us to get reactions out of those two, other than maybe a cheers every once in a while from Tuga. He'll dance with the flag for you for a moment, but like overall, they're usually pretty calm.
They are, and also, having that pause and that little bit of time between it certainly is something that will be kind of playing on their minds. Just thinking, can we have that going and keep going all that way? However, though, Tuga, he's been around for a long time. He's made event after event after event. I have no doubt that over the next couple of games, those will start to find their way through. There's one thing that we know: they just find goals from anything, like.
Well, it's only taken us, 2.5 hours? We are now through to round 3. Let's wrap up then Group D, Bromby then, Esports 6, Atlanta Wave 4. Man City, they completed that matchup against DC quite a while ago, 3. Apogee Poland 2 and Team Flash 1 point. DC still yet to get off the mark. Next up then we have Atlanta Wave Man City. That would be a great matchup. DC take on Team Flash and Bromby take on Apogee Poland. I'm guessing the question there for me, Man City didn't just play their guys. They are going to be the coldest team there. They had to sit and wait. They're up against Atlanta Wave now. Alex, how will that affect them?
I think it's actually going to be really tough for Shells and Brian. They've just spent the last part of maybe an hour or so sat waiting in the wings, which, especially as well in that second game that they played, they came off and they went, look, first game didn't go too well, Shells wasn't happy. We then got that win and they were feeling good. What you want to do when you're feeling good is continue playing your FIFA at that top level. But they didn't get that. So now they've had that time to sit back. I'm sure Stingray and Fuma are saying, look, if we go out, we start strong, we start quick, we're going to have a chance to maybe get 1 or 2 goals and see if we can catch them after.
Yeah, the momentum has gone, Aggie, but I did go and speak to Ryan actually when we had that break, and I said, if we played tonight, would you prefer that, or would you prefer to come back tomorrow morning a little bit earlier and play then? He said, no, tonight, absolutely.
Yeah, because I think they are starting to hitting their zone and feeding out the game, and that's why it's, as Alex said, might be a bit frustrating for them not to be able to continue that form. But at the end of the day, it's 2 extremely experienced players, so they'll know how to handle it. And they also, I feel like both players are players who grows when they're playing against great players. They know they have to be ready, and Atlanta Wave is certainly some top players, so I think they'll be ready.
Also, at the end of the day, these are all professional FIFA players. Like, you have to pivot, you have to adjust. Yes, we had a delay, now you're back into action. We're in Saudi. Make the most of this. Make this happen. I don't want to hear excuses, especially this early on. No one's been eliminated. No one's progressed. You had 1 game delayed for a little bit. I've been in these positions. I think we all have in all sorts of different roles. And I have a question for the room, if you're ready. If I can ask, I'm going to start with you.
We're ready. Go, question.
I want you guys to chime in, though.
Okay.
All right. You and I, we have a lot of competitive history. We met at the very beginning of all of this. I've known you throughout your whole career.
What year
I was
was
thinking
that?
this year, I think 2014, maybe first.
Was that Rio?
I met you in
2004?
I met you in Madrid in 13.
13. Okay, I'm off the year. But yeah, to give you an idea.
Mike won actually something. You won the celebration.
Something. Aggie,
You
something.
won the FIWC celebration contest. That's why we met.
Thank you.
And you won the award as my best buddy in FIFA.
You see how I get treated?
Mike, you're almost saved by the matches, but not just yet. So carry on with that.
Okay. I was thinking through all the years of FIFA. At this season, I think we've had the most midfield value offensively, where the midfielders making these delayed runs, knocking down crosses, scoring goals. Even throughout the weekend league in normal gameplay, my center mid's going to score more than 10 goals for sure. Do you think this is the most impactful year of all time for midfielders scoring goals?
Definitely, yeah. I think so. I don't really recall other versions where, like, 19 was a very high-scoring game. So, like, in general, you would see Hullet scoring a lot of goals. Like, long shots were crucial. But yeah, I think you're right.
Well, pause the thought, guys. You're about to see if it actually comes to fruition in this next matchup.
It will.
Man City taking on Atlanta Wave. They had to wait a long while. We were talking about it. Mike said, don't give them any excuses. They're professional players. They should know how to handle it. Ooh, nice opening shot there.
Manifested it. It's happening. I promise you. We're going to see goals from the midfield. Ruud Hullet will be a target man. Wherever Savic is, I don't know where he's going to be playing, but watch out for Savic. If he's in the game, he's a problem. I know Alex thinks he's a problem. I've committed. I'm starting to agree with Alex. I think he's a problem.
Come on board.
Yeah, I'm joining the ship. Put me on the ship. The Savic ship. I want it. I'm sinking or living, whatever I'm doing on it. I'm on the ship.
6'8", 99 jumping, 99 aggression, 99 head and accuracy, and 99 strength just to top it up.
He's an angry man. He's an angry
You've
man.
hit a sore point. You've hit a sore point. Talking about people that won their 4th tournament, by the way, obviously picking up the Brazilians. We still talk about Shells. Shells did that in Paris. Turned up first tournament. Nobody knew who the heck he was. Came in, smashed it. 4-4-2. Everyone got frustrated and changed tactics.
Well, this is our feature game then in the other group as well. Just jumping away from Shells and Man City, this is Ducks America and our defending champions in this competition, Riders. They haven't had the best start, have they, for Riders? They had a loss and then they had a draw. Defending champions, we didn't expect this.
This is a key moment as well for both of these teams because Ducks already has a win. They didn't get that result, obviously, that we just saw. And then Riders is yet to get on the board. And they haven't really been scoring either. Clean sheet in the first game, 1-all in the second game. They're struggling to convert those opportunities. And they had so much of the ball. As Alex was talking about, he's watching the game closely. I think they might have had 75% possession.
People now, well, as riders, you have that monkey on your back. Everyone wants to beat them. Remember last year, they topped the table with, I think it was about 25 points. They've got 1 point at the moment. They were undefeated then. Well, this is the first goal then in this
Who else?
group. Brondby.
Who else? Brondby doesn't care, bro. They don't care. Brondby's doing it for fun, doing it for show. Another day in the office, and nobody's been able to score against them either.
They can just look easy, Aggie.
Yeah, and they're impressive to always get an early goal. I mean, it's the third match in a row where they score within 10 minutes. So, yeah, definitely something that they need to get a lot of credit for. And maybe they see an opportunity here to just actually qualify already today, because they're playing on such a high level and no one seems to be able to know how to stop them right now. So you got to take advantage of that momentum as well.
One thing to add, Aggie, you said that before you played against the Bromby players quite a lot in Rivals. What is it that you think they do in their attacking way that makes them so good right now?
I think definitely, as we've been speaking about, the free flow, very fluent attacking, especially Klenge is one of the most advanced players when it comes to doing skill moves and combining them. And he's shown that year after year pretty much. He had an amazing rookie season as well through the scene. And as we're seeing here, is it DC United who gets the goal? Let's go. Then Mike's happy as well.
Based on what's been happening today, you really can't drop points against Team Flash. So you need that result.
Yeah, that's one in the books. You look at that before you come into today and go, I'm getting 3 points there, guaranteed on the board. Sorry to say that, Team Flash, but that's how I believe the teams are looking when they face you. Right, scores. It's again, we've got one there. Let's go to Ducks and Riders.
Yeah, and we were talking about
this.
the pressure that was on Riders, obviously, coming into this. Yes, they lost against RB Leipzig. Then they had that tough draw against Goliath. They're not going to be happy with that one, but they've got the goal early this time. So maybe set their stall out here. Ducks, you know, we talked about the fact that they're going to be on the bubble. They lost to SPQR. This is starting to look a bit scary for Ducks.
We've also got an equalizer as well. We haven't really seen this. We haven't seen fight back against Bromby. They've been able to add a lot of goals time and time again, put pressure on people. And I will say this for Ducks, tough position. Being down against Riders, being down against Tuga, being down against Andoni, it's a miserable experience. And I mean that as a compliment to them. It's just, you always feel like you're chasing. You have to risk everything to maybe get that one interception, the team press, all of the above.
Yeah, to be honest, playing against Tuga and Andoni, it's almost like running a marathon. Like it's so like they will like outburn you in some sort, like virtually. It's so draining to play against them because they have the patience, they're so solid, they rarely do any mistakes, and that's why they're one of the favorites here.
They're also the kind of players that don't just train on the virtual pitch, they train their bodies as well. They're the kind of players that are in the gym in the morning, they're doing the ice bath, they're taking care of everything, not just the game.
I was going to say they play FIFA by the book. If there was a rule book to FIFA, especially defensively and positioning and structurally and tactics, all of that, they wrote that book. That's their book.
It's discipline.
Discipline, that's the key word actually, I think.
The book of discipline.
They're shaking their hands, you can't see them, but that's what they're doing.
We're good again over here.
They're made up again.
Let's go to the Leipzig game then. We haven't
2013 problem.
We haven't mentioned the Leipzig boys this round 3. Up against SPQR.
It's SPQR have actually had the most shots as well so far, which is somewhat surprising. You can see them on the attack once again. RB Leipzig, they are under a little bit of pressure. We talked about the danger at the corners that obviously we get from Andoni and co. This is also something that will happen throughout. I feel in the Club World Cup, you know, we know how it works in singles, but obviously you add that extra little value when you've got your duo partner. You can sort of set up, it's like, right, we're going to do this, try a little trickery. I think we're probably going to see it more and more as the tournament progresses.
Well, let's stay with this then. Got a couple more minutes for them to see it out. Deadlock here in this matchup. Anders and Amit have come under a bit of pressure, which they, put on a little bit the last round, but for them not to get a goal early doors, we haven't seen that yet, Mike.
they still got to be sitting okay. I know they're so crucial and their expectations very high, which plays a factor, but you won your first game versus the world champs. You drew your next game. The downfall was that you were up 2-0. But a draw is still a point on the board.
It is, and there was conversations though with RB Leipzig, knowing that those first 2 games were tough. We were saying, if they don't pick up the results that they have there, could there be the chance that Umit and Anders don't have that good tournament, have that conversation together where they don't click? I think for now, they've got through those first 2 games, they've got 3 points on the board and the draw. The rest of this, for the next 3 games, should be relatively comfortable.
I've had this thought as well, because 2 players individually could be amazing, but maybe not the best team. We've also seen this happen with Ebes Dasari. He's yet to have a good partner. Or I shouldn't say a good partner like that. They have good individual partners, but for whatever reason, it didn't work. They didn't gel together. I don't know the back end or any of those details, but it didn't work. We don't see them in finals. We don't see them making runs, not in a 2v2 format.
I mean, obviously the biggest problem is that is for the big single players like him, obviously former world champion, etc. You're used to playing your way. We talked about it earlier. Obviously on about the fact that obviously whether we're going to see RB Leipzig, is he going to be able to play in his own? Will Anders, who obviously is this prodigy coming through, he's playing with Umit, he's playing with the world champion. But will he play his way, or will he play Umit's way, or will they actually find a blend? At the moment, it seems that they are, when the results are going their way. When the result goes against them, that's when we're going to see how that teamwork really gels.
And if you've ever played against Anders or watched him play heavily online versus whoever he's going up against or in tournaments, he's very disruptive. So he might not be the easiest partner just because he plays for so many risks. He's taking gambles at all times. But a lot of people don't play FIFA like that. I don't think about the game in that way. August, if you've ever watched August play, same thing, very structured with your defensive approach. You were never one of those all-in type of pressure players. And Anders plays that way. He just makes decisions off his gut.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to actually play with him at the national team at some of our boot camps back then, and it went pretty good, obviously, because he is such a gifted player and arguably the best. But it's very, very difficult because you have to understand his way of thinking, and I'm not sure anyone really understand that 100% because he thinks so fast and he makes hard things look very simple, and yeah, that can be really hard to translate to. But if anyone can do it, it's probably Umit.
Well, Anders is a new breed of FIFA player, that's for sure. We could talk about him all day, but we're back on this feature matchup then in Group D. Atlanta Wave and Man City here. Just a good chance, actually gone just a little bit wide. We're back though with City here looking for something. 0-0 as it stands. Obviously lost their first, won their second. Let's jump over to our feature game in Group C. That is Ducks and Riders. Riders still lead this one 1-0. Not much happening since we last jumped in there, Lee. Alex?
We have had a goal over in the Goliath Gaming game against Ajax. PHC and Resende find themselves 1-0 down. Let's go over and take a look at that highlight. Bianchi and Caitlin managing to find that way through to get a 1-0 lead. The little ball roll scoop down on that wing, patience and time. The layoff across, guides that little bit of luck, but finish at that far post. Clinical as you like, Goliath Gaming. They're looking good.
They've had the first goal in every game.
We're going to ask the same question, can you see it out? You got to see it out.
You have, and I think Caitlin and Bianchi are capable of it as this tournament grows on. Now, obviously, we know Resende and PHC more than capable of finding even the winner here. Yes, there's still plenty of time to be played.
We saw them possibly as the underdogs, Alex. Goliath Gaming. Do you think they saw themselves as the underdogs?
No, they never do. Caitlin and Bianchi know that they are the best players from South Africa, so they always come to these tournaments saying we're here to make a mark and put some more respect on our names and South Africa as a region. So although yes, other people might say they're not going to get through or anything like that, they're going to back themselves every single day of the week. And we've seen it time and time again. Caitlin has won FGS after FGS multiple times. They've got the quality, it's just about can they deliver it on the world stage.
And they have the chemistry as well, because obviously South Africa as a nation in terms of FIFA is not huge, but they always travel together, they always back each other, they always coach each other. If one goes out the tournament, the other one's there to back each other up, and some tight stuff. Ironically, we joined this game when Leipzig are on the attack. It's been SBQR. They've hit the post twice, and they had a one-on-one. I thought it was a done deal, but somehow they didn't score. And at the moment, I feel Leipzig again lucky with this.
Well, we spoke it up, didn't we, about Goliath and their chemistry. We're going to see them get their second then against AFC Ajax. We could hear it as well. They jumped up and celebrated. They loved that one, just putting a bit of daylight between them and the Brazilians.
And they've been playing well. They really should be in a better position in the group at the moment. They just hadn't been able to see them out, doubling the lead. You're in a very advantageous position. Also, you got to mention Ajax is going to push it. It's going to get very aggressive here for the last 20, 30 minutes.
Ryan and Sheldon struggling to break down Stingray and Fuma here. They've got a pause going. Alex, can they turn this around with 15 minutes left?
It certainly can, but I think if you're Manchester City, Shells and Ryan, they want that 3 points for sure. But you know Fuma and Stingray, arguably the favourite for this group. You're always just saying, let's try and get that 3 points, but make sure we protect that point at all costs as well. You have that point when you start that game. Although we said draws, we don't want them too much. When you're looking at the group favourites, Shells and Ryan will be very happy to just see if they can snatch that point away from them.
Some more shouts then from behind us. It's coming from Group D. We can show you it now. It's Brøndby and Apogee from Poland here. Brøndby then just getting their second goal.
One thing I just want to say that so many people at home can take note from this. We've seen time and time again throughout all of these games so far, people are finding success from finding those crosses to the strikers in between that centre-backs. If you can just come off that centre-back, which yes, it's easier to do in 2v2 than it is in a 1v1 scenario, you can get that normal cross in, take the touch down, you might lay it off to another player, you might take that touch and then get that shot off, just like we saw there.
Just to build on that,
there to the left. Sorry,
to build on that from Alex, what he's saying is also being able to judge what kind of finish to go with. Like they're knowing when to take the touch, when to knock it down with an extra pass, or when to go first time.
Well, we've had an opening goal. It took a while, didn't it, in this matchup from RB Leipzig, I'm going to say, in Group C, SBQR. 83 minutes had to come knocking before the deadlock was broken.
And it's against the run of play. It's strange to say it, but it has been against the run of play. SBQR been pressuring. As I said, they had that one-on-one. They've hit the woodwork twice. But it's RB Leipzig that once again come out on top. And a crucial moment as well. With not too long to go in this game, that could put them right at the top of the table.
Ducks America back in it then.
Wow,
literally,
really good.
As
really
we were
nice
just
goal.
saying as well, the little dink laying it in, looking for that extra pass off across. They just work a treat over and over again. Zizinho and Neat. I mean, Andoni and Tuga, they're just not looking themselves right now.
They're not looking like the team we saw last year, Mike.
It's still very early, and you don't want to see them in any sort of bracket, assuming they get out of the group. I don't care who you are. You say you want to play the best, but you want to play Tuga and Andoni as late in the tournament as possible in an elimination matchup. But again, every time I watch Neat play, I find myself saying, I wish I could replicate some of the things that he's doing. I know he's doing it with Zizinho, but he just has all the extras. Whoa!
Speaking of
City
experience,
scoring late, maybe a little against the run of play. There's been a couple half chances for the Wave. That's huge. That's massive for their confidence and their positioning on day one.
Yeah, it could be 2 wins then, back-to-back wins for Man City. They just went to a pause, so we just would leave that game for the time being and come back to this one. Goliath still 2-0 up over Ajax. Only 5 minutes or so left in this one for Ajax to have a comeback. I wouldn't have expected it to go as one-sided as it has done here, Alex.
no. So I was just getting my eyes on other games as well there. Because I saw this goal go in, I saw the reaction, and it is going to be for Apogee Poland just managing to find that near post and celebration all the way to the halfway line, taking that moment in.
Surprising that Apogee Poland could get back in that one. 2-2.
I think both and it was a small mistake there from Brøndby, but what we also forget is that from Apogee Poland you have the likes of Furman, who played the E-Nations final last year. I mean, he went almost the entire way, so let's not sleep on Apogee either. They came back twice now against Brøndby, and I believe they're still undefeated. They didn't get a win on the board yet, but they still haven't lost a game, which also matters in this competition.
And we've seen this now twice in these matchups. SPQR, the decider, was a mistake from SPQR getting out of the back. The same with Brøndby there. It's a missed clearance, and you gave up an easy opportunity.
Last few minutes there for Ryan and Shells. Man City, can they see this one out and get their second 3 points? on the board, it would be a pretty good start for them. 6 points from a possible 9. Always trying to keep possession. Didn't quite manage to hold on to that one.
There's going to be a last attack for Stingray and Fuma, and it is going to be that last-minute equaliser. Stingray up out of his seat. Fuma, just calm as you like. Job done, got the point back.
Yeah, points definitely be shared in this matchup, unless this is the last attack of the game. No, whistle blown there, 1 apiece for Atlanta Wave and Man City Esports. Goliath has finished 2-0 over Ajax. RB Leipzig on the 90th minute, they're looking to finish that 1-0. Got 5 minutes left on Ducks America. We can go over there, Ducks America Riders.
Yeah, and with Goliath winning 2-0 over Ajax, that's actually blown the group wide open once again. It's like this draw here is actually not too bad for either team. Riders, obviously, they're looking for their first win, so they want to get that goal. But the fact that Goliath picked up those points over Ajax, who almost everyone had going through, I don't think it's safe to say in that top 4. This group is still wide open. I've been watching SPQR as well. I feel they're actually still unlucky to be 1-0 down in this game. They've been the dominant team. It's just not gone their way so far.
Well, all the matches have pretty much been completed. 90 minutes on the clock on this game. Points are likely to be shared. Riders not happy with that. Ducks probably happy. Got that goal late on in that match to secure that point. 3 rounds then wrapped up here. Spen is down on the floor. We're going to go straight to you, Spen, to get all the reaction.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm here in the Goliath Gaming group, and they're in this group of death, this Group C, right? And I'll be honest, I think some people were counting them out a little bit before today, maybe thinking they're more of a David than a Goliath, but they're living up to their name. They've just had a big win in their last matchup. You took on Ajax Brazil, who are doing very well. You beat them. You've got to be absolutely buzzing with that.
Of course, it's a huge team. It's players we respect a lot. And like you've mentioned before, it's the group of death. So starting the first game with a lost tight game, we wanted to get some points on the board. A draw versus Tuga. And Antonio was obviously a little bit of a confidence booster. But this win today is massive. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is for all our people back home that's been supporting us.
That's what I was going to say next. Obviously, you guys from South Africa, it's a massive opportunity to put the FIFA scene there on the map. When you saw the group of death, as we're calling it, how did that affect you? Did you love the challenge, or were you a little bit disheartened?
Yeah, we saw it more as an opportunity, to be honest. We can play with no fear, go into every game with, everything to gain more than anything. So I think it's an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time. But again, I'm glad we're getting some points on the board, and hopefully we can continue this momentum throughout the day and tomorrow again.
Definitely keep it up, representing the guys from South Africa very well. Well done, guys. We're going to take a little walk now, and I'm going to go and talk to the guys from Riders, who haven't had the start they probably would have wanted. A loss and 2 draws, I believe. So just 2 points on the board so far, but there's plenty of time. I'm going to jump in for a quick chat here with Andoni and Tuga if they're ready. Sorry to interrupt, guys. I'm just going to come for a quick chat if that's okay. 3 games down. What are you thinking so far?
Not as good as we expected. The practice were good. The connection right now, we think that is not the same speed as that it was in the practice, but there's not an excuse. We need to do better. We try to change a couple of things, and let's see what happens next games.
You've been here so many times before. You know exactly what it takes. You know that so many times we see teams maybe start slowly and come into it. You've only played 3 games. Plenty more time, isn't there?
Yeah. It's on 3 games. I think it's 8 left or 7 left. So plenty of points to grab, and let's see what happens next.
How many more points do you want from today to just finish well?
6 out of 6.
Let's see if they do it. Best of luck, guys. Obviously, these are the reigning champions, and we expect them to be in the last stage of the tournament. But they're going to need some points today if they're going to do that. Back to you guys.
Well, they're after 6 points and have a possible 6 in these final 2 matches. That's confident, isn't it, for Riders? But they're defending champions. They should be full of confidence. Hasn't gone their way, really, in the opening 3 fixtures. But enough time to turn things around. 5 matches tomorrow, remember. They get to do home matches, we call it today, away tomorrow. Well, let's just clear up those results then, as they stand after 3 rounds. So Group C, RB Leipzig 7 points, as we kind of expected them to be table toppers. Goliath, they've come out, haven't they, and surprised us all. So great to see the boys from South Africa, 4 points on the board. Ajax 4, Ducks America 4, SPQR 3 and Riders 2, but they want 6 more tonight. Right, Group D, Bromby, Atlanta Wave, 7 and 5 respectively. Man City 4 had to settle for a draw, didn't they, in the last moments of that last game. Apogee Poland 3, DC 3, Team Flash 1 point, their name. Great result for them. Let's hope they get a few more before the evening is out. Quick question then before we get into round 4. Guys, are RB Leipzig still going to be table toppers with 2 more games still to play? Lee?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that game, let's be fair, it's 2 points between second and bottom right now. It's still, that group got blown wide open. It is Leipzig, though, that are dominant at top. And I think they're going to go that way. They are facing off against AFC Ajax next. So another big game for them. But Ajax, of course, just losing to Goliath. Is that a good or bad time to face them?
Well, who knows? But Alex, Riders, bottom at the moment. They've got Ajax next, and in their 5th round, they've got SPQR 6 from 6. Do you see that happening?
The way they're playing right now, no.
No, well, move on then.
Well, swift
and clear.
Swiftly
I just
moving
have
on.
the utmost belief in riders getting it done somehow, some way. I've watched this Tuga and Doni experiment happen too often. So I don't know how they're going to get it done, but they're going to get it done.
I wanted to ask you two a question. For Tuga and Andoni right now, last year they were so hard to break down defensively, where it was every player was looking to work that byline and then pass off across. That was what a lot of people wanted to work. This year though, we have the tools to go for crosses, finesse shots, power shots, Trivela shots. You can work the byline still, the step overs are super effective. Are they struggling a little bit more because there is more tools for players to find a way to break through them?
They haven't lost these games or drawn these games because of their defense. Offensively, I think they've been lackluster. They've had a lot of possession, but they're not doing anything with it. A lot of side-to-side, back and forth, a resurface, a recycle, but when we're talking about in that final third, watch those games back. We're not talking 5, 6, 7, 8 chances. It's not happening. So the issue's been offensive to me, not defensive.
Yeah, and they usually always find a way, and I expect them to get back on track. And the group at the same time is very, very close. I mean, teams are beating each other. So the results are very mixed up, which means that they can be in the run for a longer time, and I think they'll find a solution.
Yeah, they've scored 2 goals and one of them was a set piece. They haven't got anything in the run of play.
We said Group C was going to be the group of death. We predicted it would be really a close and cagey affair throughout. Still 2 more matches to go. Spen, who have you got to chat to this time? Who's your victims?
My victims are the guys from DC United, representing not just America, not just the MLS, the capital of America, Wayne Rooney's very own. Guys, how's it gone so far? 2 losses, then you picked up the win in the last game. That's important, right?
So important. Now we'll come back and I hope we'll do it.
Now, next up, you've got Apogee from Poland. Now, I can tell you, they've drawn every game they've played. They've drawn the first 2 0-0, in fact. The only 0-0s we've had, all tournaments so far, have both involved Apogee Poland. Do you think does that tell you anything about their strategy?
Probably they might be too safe at this stage of the tournament. Best of 1 is a bit hard to show how you play due to the 90 minutes just to decide the game. So we're just going to go with our game plan, composed, and hopefully we'll get the 3 points. That's what we want.
It's an interesting one because we've seen teams draw too many games in this format before and actually go out as a result. So personally, I think it favours teams more that go for it. But what is your game plan? What is your game style? Maybe you don't have to tell us your plan, but what is your style and your sort of way of playing?
If I had to label us, I'd say we're more of a counter-attacking team. We like to go and attack fast, trigger peep runs from everywhere, overwhelming the box, making sure that we get numbers in the box to then make our opponents make the move and then have to just finish the goals. That's basically how we play, I reckon.
Okay, and how much would you love to win this, not just for yourselves, but for your team, for DC United, for MLS, and obviously the exciting movement with Messi coming over to the MLS soon, everyone's talking about it. It'd be great to add to that. And maybe more important than Messi would be winning the E-Club World Cup. What do you think?
To be honest, I really want to win it because we are behind everyone. Like we are representing North America, the whole continent, and they are all supporting us, and I'm very grateful, and I hope we represent them really well.
Great stuff. Best of luck, boys, against Apogee Poland. They got their first win in the last game. Guys, the games are ready. We're going to get back underway. Back to you, Rachel.
Yeah, games are ready. I love that. Bit of a counter-attacking style you're going to see from them. And obviously, representing not just the MLS, but the MLS and America are DC United. Well, They're ready to go. They have Apogee Poland, as Spen said. Apogee Poland have a habit of drawing. Let's see what happens in this matchup. Can they break that duck and get 3 points, or can DC United get something from this matchup? I'm going to ask you for predictions, your boys. Where do you think it's going?
I'd like to see them get a 1-0 victory and double their situation right now. They're on 3 points, go to 6 points. And it's worth mentioning King CJ is the only American in the competition. Agile Power, of course, being Canadian.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Well said. I noticed that as well. Obviously, don't really allude to the nations, but we are kicking off in all games here. So Apogee Poland, DC, they are underway. They forget now what Spencer just asked them about Messi going to the MLS, and they get right in where it matters most to round 4. Right, we'll just let this one breathe, see how they start the first couple of moments here. Just going to play it out wide. Well, let's see what else is happening then, shall we? Group C feature matchup. AFC Ajax and Riders. Riders looking for 6 points on these next 2 games.
Apparently.
Lee, strong arse there.
Like I said, is this a good or a bad time to play Ajax? Because obviously they just lost to Goliath, so they're going to be also thinking we have to get a win now. They're coming up against the Riders. I think this is where we turn it around. Obviously, massive players in that team, so we'll see. We'll see whether it works out. Obviously, Pierre Zin, one of the 6 players that have qualified for all competitions here in Saudi, so he's going to be here for the entire duration. A lot of work to do for them, though. After that Goliath loss, that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Brazilian national pride, etc. Obviously, we're picking up the South Africans as the first cross comes in. It's all about that first shot in anger, right? Everybody wants to get that first shot away, and somebody's done it.
Yeah, we were talking about it, weren't we? DC United, boys. Did it go their way? No, it didn't. Apogee Poland. First blood there, Mike.
It's got to be said, it's a smooth cancellation inside the box. Able to convert, sets it up nicely, has a little bit of extra time on the ball. And this also is difficult for DC because they're not as good with some of the chasing. And it could be too. Fantastic goalkeeper movement there. What CJ was saying is the style you're looking at, where you're dealing with a lot of counter-attacking play. So you really don't want to concede early.
Well, let's just see if they can make anything from this corner. Took it short. No. Let's go over then to Bromby. They've been the standout, haven't they, in Group D so far. They've had 7 points out of a possible 9.
It's the match to top the group, I think. Honestly, Bromby, Atalanta side, they're both, obviously, definitely near. We should give Man City a shout. Obviously, they just had a draw.
They've just gone down, I think, Lee, as well.
And it's the first goal.
You've just
the first goal for Flash.
We were talking about, weren't we, that when you look at Flash, you kind of go, I might get some points. Hasn't gone that way so far.
Neymar from the Neymar angle, a lot of movement. A quality finesse shot still makes me happy. Still makes me excited. It brings me back to the golden era of FIFA.
And to be honest with you, I love to see Team Flash getting an early goal and just giving a bit of confidence. They haven't had much to be confident about.
There he is, my man. Can't wait to show you this replay, Mike. Manchester City went 1-0 down against Team Flash. I was hyping him up the whole time. Milinkovic-Savic. He finds the equaliser as we take a look at that replay. We said how corners can be such a threat, and when you have this man on your team, that is one of the reasons why. As Team Flash, they took that lead from Neymar on the finesse shot, but they find themselves
We'll
back
get that later, Alex.
Yeah, we'll get it soon. They don't want to show it me now, do they? Because they know it's so good.
You spoke about it so well.
You
like,
asked
we don't
for
need
it too
to
many
see
times. She said you're not getting it.
I've been waiting
like, leave them hanging.
I mean, we got goals everywhere. Ajax have obviously scored against Riders as well, which is also a massive goal. Ooh. Maybe we'll get it here.
Here it is. Look at him. No one can beat him in the air. It's just not a fair game. Once he leaps, no one's stopping him.
Let's get back to Ajax and Riders. There's been goals galore in there, Lee. I can see you wafting around.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's an equaliser. We talked about obviously Ajax getting one earlier on, but it is an equaliser coming through as well. We'll get it on your screen just a moment because our goals are starting to pump in. I see another one just gone in as well. They suddenly all come at once.
Right, I think, where are we going, Lee? Where are we going?
Where are we going? It is going to be Riders, so it's going to be the equaliser, so it's a great working goal. Ooh. And a goal from open play right there, Mike.
I'm not mad at it. I didn't say it wasn't possible, it just hadn't been happening for him.
Atlanta wave as well. Got a massive goal goal against Bromby, who we're saying are top of the table. This is possibly the match to top the table. We were saying Atlanta Wave have got the early goal.
Something about seeing Henri back in rotation at the competitive level, it makes me feel, again, a certain type of way.
It makes you feel
positive energy. Yeah, he just hasn't been in since maybe he was 17. I think it's the last time we saw Henri.
Another goal then in the Apogee Poland DC United game. Let's see which way it went. Oh, it looks like we've got Apogee Poland.
Oh.
They are on the attack. They make it 2-0.
That's jammy.
And we also have Goliath Gaming, Bianchi and Kalen. They had that interview before and they said, look, we know that we're the underdogs, but we can go into each game with something to gain and anything to lose. And right now, they're playing exactly that. Kele with the reverse elastico, the shot across goal with that low driven. They are going to be
first in every game.
Yeah, they're going to be loving life.
I love to see the confidence.
We'd put them on 7 points. That'd be massive. You know, to go into the end of the day, we've still got other matches to go. We've discussed it. We reckon about 13, 14 is what you need to get through that bubble.
Oh, don't start this again, Lee. Mike says 9 or 10. Don't
10 or 11.
come.
10 or 11. I'm telling you, when it's all said and done, somebody will get through with it, and then you say, Michael, I'm sorry.
Oh, Alex is coming into the game.
Now, what it actually is that Mike he got a little bit confused with himself at first. So that was why he went with a 9-10 and then he had to up it a little bit. He told me in the break, you see.
Right, another goal then for you to enjoy. Bromby Atlanta Wave. Oh, Bromby back in this one.
Did R9 just literally just turn his man that easy? He just went, I'm going to do a 180, thank you very much, and slot it away.
They mix up their play so well. It's kind of unpredictable, it's creative, they do basic maneuvers sometimes and then very complicated and complex. And that's so difficult from a defensive side in some of these situations. We've seen them walk the end line a couple times, no skills. After doing a triple cancellation, you say, how can that be?
Well, let's go into another goal we've got then for RB Leipzig in that game.
I mean,
can we see that one?
Which one did he go to? The same man just scored in 2 goals in 2 games. It is, of course, Mbappe this time. So Leipzig, who were under a little bit of pressure, it is pretty much an individual goal, just smashes it into the corner.
We did as we came out as well there. We did see Atlanta Wave take that second goal to put them back into the lead against Bromby Esports. Stingray and Fuma, we give credit to Anders Vergang and how good him and Omid are on the stick. Stingray in himself is also a player that loves to go forward. He has that ability to do all the cancels, look for the skills, drive his man and just go. And he does that time and time again. As we jump back into this game, 45th minute, RB Leipzig knocking on that door saying, can we go in 1-0 at half time, which they can. Anders Vergang and Omid looking comfortable.
Yeah, we expected that, didn't we, from them? Slow start, but once they're back in their form.
This is the busiest I think I've seen the replay display today. I don't think we saw more than 5 minutes of game time before we had another goal in another game, and then a rebuttal to the goal that happened in that game.
Well, we're keeping us on our toes. It's getting late, Mike. If we don't do that, he might fall asleep on us, and we don't want that, do we? We're busy.
A lot of FIFA players, they tend to play their FIFA late at night. Maybe.
Yeah, actually, they're coming in at time. It's a good argument.
That's when I spoke to Ryan. That's exactly what he was saying, because it was $2 grand only saying, we want to come back tomorrow. Ryan was like, nah. I'm like,
Ryan
you don't
wake up in the AM.
Exactly.
Get up in the AM.
Exactly. Sorry, Ryan. We do really like you. We're not putting too much shade on you. SBQR then Goliath. We're still with this one.
Gaming hours is what we like to call it. But yeah, I mean, Goliath Gaming, you know, if they can come out on top with this, they have obviously, you know, thrown away a lead twice. They've managed to hold on to it before, but this would be a massive win for them once again. SBQR coming off the back of a defeat, which really, honestly, I felt they were the better team in that Leipzig game, despite the fact they lost on range effort. Cheeky corner, maybe see if they can work anything. No, it's going to go short. I'm really interested to see how these corners are going to develop over this tournament. I feel there's something to come there.
It's got to be said, I even think back to Nicholas in E-Champions League last year where he won everything. He scored a corner kick in every single one of his matchups. Every single one, and that was the margin for him. It allowed him to progress even if he wasn't playing his best FIFA.
And it's all about finding these margins who makes that small difference and give you that extra edge.
Well, another goal coming then. It's in Atlanta Wave.
And a chip.
Love that. Love that. Little step over burst.
That's a big result there for your boys. Aggie?
Definitely. I mean, it's two of the teams that we predicted to be top of that group. So also kind of a mental game for them just to show, because they're obviously going to play again against each other.
That for me has got Stingray written all over it. Like, we have to make a statement here. If we don't win this one, we're not winning. He wants to top the table. That's his attitude, isn't it?
Yeah, and at the same time, you're giving Brøndby a big lead in the group to just isolate. They would be isolated with a win at top of the group. So a big statement there from Sting and Fuma.
Brøndby just got caught flat-footed on the defensive end. We talk about their offense, but we haven't seen that many teams take it to them defensively. They haven't been challenged, and this is one of the first games.
Yeah, I think some of the teams might get overwhelmed because you have so much to look out for defensive-wise that you forget that you also have to try to get up and create chances yourself. And I like the variety as well from Brøndby so far. They made different kind of goals, but especially very advanced, high-skilled goals.
Well, we've got very skillful and very experienced players as well in Brøndby, like we were mentioning. Klenke, I remember him getting through the playoffs last year in person. You know, really great to see him go through as we stick with this matchup. Riders and Ajax.
It's a big game. I mean, if we were to look at it, we'll go to a goal in just a moment. If we were to look at this game, this is one of the ones on paper. Obviously, it's the Nations champions versus the Club World Cup champions. It's a big game. Speaking of big games, the players are stepping up. Number one, possible favourites for the tournament are delivering. They are delivering on the stage right now. 2-0 here. This will take up to 10 points, top of the group. Running away with it in what is the group of death. They're making it look easy so far.
Yeah, that's Anders and Mitz. We all expect them to do great things in this competition. And Anders, remember, has qualified for all three, so he gets 3 bites at the cherry in terms of FIFA E World Cup finals. How far can he go with Umit? Can Umit pick up another trophy in back-to-back years, but in a different competition? That would be pretty exceptional as well. Would that mean he's a more versatile player, even a better player, if he's a world champion 1 year on his own and then comes out and does it as a team the next, Mike?
It's also a nice touch, I think, from your career path, your career trajectory. We all know what he is as a 1v1 player. 2v2, we've seen some in the virtual Bundesliga, but why not add another little international trophy to the collection?
You should also add he's got a little bit more to prove because he didn't qualify for the World Championships. It was a big shock, obviously, for defending champion. So maybe this is his chance of redemption, effectively. He's got a fantastic partner as well.
Going on to the partner, do you think, if you know you had the former world champ playing and he hasn't got that chance to reclaim that title, the only shot he has at any sort of silverware now is this Club World Cup? If you're, Bergang is probably one of the best partners you could have with that. Because maybe if it was someone else, they might feel that pressure going, oh, I've got to perform because this is his only chance this year. But Anders Bergang comes into every tournament saying, I'm going to win it all anyway.
And he knows he's going to get the viewers, the eyes. He wants to be on the big stage. He expects that type of pressure. He's obviously played online where you have these unbelievable unbeaten streaks that he burst onto the scene. He's kind of waiting for these opportunities. He's answered the call of action where people have questioned, can you do it at a LAN? He's here. He's done it on a LAN. He's qualified for everything.
And it's also about which message do you want to send out to your teammates. Like when Anders is saying these things, yeah, we're going to win it all. I'm here to win it all. It sends a message to Umit. It gives him confidence. And it's so important to be verbally like Anders did in order to gain confidence, because you'll look at him and say, okay, I might not qualify for the 1v1, but the best player, one of the best players in the world is saying that we're going to win everything, and that gives you a lot of confidence going into it.
Aggie, just quickly interrupting there. Brøndby got a goal back in their game against Atlanta Wave, and then Apogee Poland as well. 3-0 now over DC United. Show you those in a short moment's time. So this is the Apogee Poland one. I was teasing up. I could hear them getting quite excited behind me on the stage. This is 3-0 here. Lee?
Yeah, another goal just came in as well. The goals are actually it's the same old. We're keeping the replay guy on his toes. As you say, that was the Poland. While that happened, Atalanta, they just got themselves a fourth, as you can see on the screen. And another goal just came in the other group. We'll get to that in a moment. But as I say, Atalantide, instant reply on Bromby there. We were talking about the pressure. They didn't want to let Atalantide sort of get away with it, but it is looking solid. Here we go. It is the guys we've just been talking about for a very long time. They are, I would say, the number one for this tournament right now, and starting to set a statement match out here.
Well, that obviously kind of looks like it's done and dusted. Let's go over to Ajax, Brazil and Riders and just stick on this for a while because we haven't spoken much about them, seen much of them as we see the final 10 minutes.
Well, this is a big shift. This could be a make or break for either team here if they're able to steal a late winner.
Yeah, well, let's just watch this out a little bit and see if anyone can find anything here with Riders, really a team that need to find something, I would say.
Well, they talked about the 6 points, right? They won 6 points from these games. We'll see whether they get disappointed. They have managed to regain possession in the half, but still hounded and pressured all the way. And as excited as the crowds get it does seem that it's very much a midfield battle, this one. So it does look like they're being heavily pressured, though. So a lot of work to be done in this game. It's been pretty much at a deadlock since that equaliser.
Yeah, 5 minutes left for someone to get a breakthrough here. To have a goal kick, then short taken.
And that's rare to see from Riders, actually, that they went a little bit early. Normally they would have held that to have the last opportunity. Do you see counter press? So they're definitely trying to push an agenda, push an initiative. They want that go ahead.
Is the comeback on here in this game for Ducks America, Mike?
I mean, it's too late, too little too late in my opinion, but
I stay quiet. 12 minutes is a lot of time in FIFA. There's a lot of things you can do in 12 minutes. It is against RB Leipzig today. You've got to assume they're going to defend that outright.
Well, closing stages then of this matchup. Atlanta Wave. Got a sneaky goal in there. 5-2 for Stingray and Fuma. 4-3, sorry for...
The comeback.
Yeah, the comeback, not probably enough time there. We said 12 minutes was a long time. I don't really think extra time of 2 is, but stranger things have happened, haven't they?
Final corner kick here as well from the Ajax Riders game.
We saw them score one already, right, Riders? If anyone's going to score something from a corner...
Oh, what a save! Are you kidding me?
Still alive?
Yeah. It was a bicycle kick for those people who missed
Full
it.
extension.
It was crazy. We thought that might have just gone in from Riders. We're going to see that again, Mike.
Oh my goodness. I thought they had lined this up perfectly, and they did. It just, what a save from Van der Sar. Reaction save. And again, that changes and shifts your entire day. This is a better result for Ajax than it is for Riders.
Oh, yeah, really disappointing there for Riders not to get 3 points. Ducks, so 1 point. RB Leipzig, Ducks America, final minute of this matchup. Will it be a fourth? No, just gets kicked out to Ducks.
Yeah, looking like this one's just going to close out the comeback. Unfortunately, not on the cards. It does mean that there's only, really 1 match still going, I guess, after this one. So a win here, it puts them on 10 points. It's perfect for them. For Ducks, it's not the end of the world because Ajax and Riders just drew. Goliath picked up another win, which is huge for them. That puts them on 7 points.
Well, we've got one more match to finish. This is this one. It's a little bit further behind. They did have actually a technical problem, so it's still 1-1 in this matchup.
City can't drop points here.
So I was just about to say, I spoke in the previous game about how City would look at the game against Atlanta Wave and say, we'd take a point here because of how good they are. But against Team Flash, you're looking at that going, we have to get a guaranteed 3 points.
Maybe it has been the stop-start nature of this that's just, again, put them off their rhythm, the fact they had to wait a long while, I don't know, but things haven't
I'm not giving excuses.
Team Flash now, of course, so they're the ones...
That.
I can give them an excuse.
You know what we want? We want a Milinkovic Savic backstick winner. I mean, obviously, if you're Team Flash or a Team Flash fan, then you don't want that.
And I want to put some respect on Flash's name. I'm just saying, if you're thinking that you're going through to the top 4, if you're in City's head right now, you're saying, I need a result here.
Yeah.
But Flash might be saying the same thing, saying, we need a result here, and we can flip the script.
Well, they absolutely do need a result, don't they? Sitting at the bottom of the table with 1 point next to their name.
Could be the start of something. It is the first goal they got in this tournament. A draw against City would be a massive boost.
Well, it looks like it's going to happen as well.
let's not forget, we've got a whole new 5 games tomorrow, as well as another game to go today. So no matter where anyone finishes today, they're not written off. There is a chance to a redemption arc, effectively. It is going to have to be a massive one for them. But you know, with so many draws starting to happen in the group, you know, Spencer mentioned it when he had the interview with them. You know, if someone draws all the way through, we saw it with Apogee having a lot of draws. It makes things a lot easier to come from the bottom.
Draws are dangerous, simply put. Draws are very dangerous because we've seen it time and time again in this competition where you line up a bunch of them, you maybe didn't lose games, but you just didn't accumulate enough points.
Well, that was a draw then in the end between Team Flash and Man City. Possibly, you could say, 2 vital points dropped for Manchester City Esports there. They do get another one though, 5 now on their tally after 4 games. I'm sure they'll be disappointed with that. You can see them on your screens there, having a little bit of chat before one more round of fixtures to come your way in a short while. Then it was Atlanta Wave. They obviously took that game, didn't they, to Bromby, put themselves at now the top of the table, one more to play there. It's between those two to see who ends day 1 on a high note and finishes at the top of the table. Well, let's have a look then and just clarify the results from Group C. Well, we saw RB Leipzig quite a lot. We spoke about them even more, 3-1 to Dux America. SPQR losing out then to Goliath Gaming, 1-0 there. And it was a draw between Ajax Brazil and Riders in the end. Again, opportunity missed for those 2 teams.
No doubt about it. Obviously, we talked about, you know, RB Leipzig, they're at the top of the pile. Goliath in behind them. After that, it is a bun fight for those last 2 places. Let's not look ahead yet. Obviously, 7 points for Goliath. It is big. It's still not a done deal, though.
Yeah, obviously, SPQR sitting with 3 points and Ajax Brazil 5. So there's nothing really separating 3 to 6 there. This is Group D, though. So rounding up round 4 here. Brombury 3. Atlanta Wave 4, we discussed that one. They got the better, now sit at the top of the table. Dufuma and Stingray there. Well, let's go over here. This is how it sits. Bromby, we just spoke about them. Apogee Poland, 6 points. Man City 5, just picked up 1 point there over Team Flash on 2. And DC United, 3 points. They had a tough time, didn't they, against Apogee Poland in that last matchup. Well, a lot of work to do then for SPQR and Team Flash at the bottom of your tables. 3 points though for Riders and DC as well. Everything still to play for today and tomorrow because we get to do it all again, of course. 5 more matches to go tomorrow, 6 in total for these teams C and D here. We're going to have a little bit of a pause now just to get them reset. 1 more round of fixtures to go, and then we'll have confirmation of who sits at the top of the table, finishing out round 5 of day 1 here at the Club World Cup. We're just thanking our sponsors then. You can see them at the bottom of our table. Obviously, we couldn't have events like this happen without them. Right, any upsets happening, guys, in round 5. We've got Dux America taking on Ajax. We've got Goliath and RB Leipzig. That's a pretty big one. They've been, you know, both sides there have been playing excellent FIFA. And then Riders, SPQR. Any upsets likely? Are Goliath going to get the better of RB Leipzig?
That's my big takeaway. I think the team we've got to kind of focus on here. Goliath, nobody had on the radar is someone that I think would finish potentially top of the table. They beat Leipzig. They're tied with 10 points there. And I would say they're 1 win away from safely saying we're qualified, we're in, we're moving out of that top 4. 13 is good with everyone.
Yeah. 13 is good.
13 is good.
Yes, Mike.
10, 11, maybe not good.
Get
but
more and more
13
throughout the day as you go. Yeah.
I'm sticking to my.
He's edging his way back towards when we said 14.
Right? You know, it was 12. I tell you, it was 12 last year.
Unanimous. It's getting late. I want an anonymous.
Mike, stop talking. Stop talking. Right, guys, Mike's going to stop talking because he doesn't know what day of the week it is. It is, of course, is it Thursday? I don't even know now. Thursday, guys. It is Thursday. It's day 1 of the VPE Club World Cup. I'm feeling like a player now. I've got a hand warmer. It's freezing in here. It's blistering hot outside. But we have got round 5 of the games coming your way. So we're going to go to them right now. The last matchup of the day. This will be our 10th game of FIFA. We have seen a bit of stop-start. That's never hurt anyone though, has it? Right, where are we going to go first? Let's go to Riders. SUF featured game. They're taking on SPQR.
And this is where a potential upset I think could be. Riders have not played well today. SPQR were looking very good against Leipzig. I think they have it in them. We'll see whether, or maybe Riders will just prove me wrong and bang one in from the start. Okay, I was ready for it. I was ready to eat humble pie there. But honestly, I thought SPQR looked very good against Leipzig. I think they have it in them to take down Riders who were just faltering today.
Well, they have been faltering, haven't they, Riders? But let's see, they wanted 6 points from the final 2. They're not going to get that. They got a draw in round 4. But they're lucky. They could get 4 points. Let's see what they can end out the day with. Oh, nicely done. Nice way to start.
And what a counterattack. Over the top, switch of the pitch, right in rhythm, big first touch, line it up, and that's what they needed. And this puts them, I'm getting way ahead of myself, but 6 points. 6 points isn't what they wanted, but it's enough to still be in the cup. Proper.
Right, well, this is our featured game then in Group D. Man City, before we have a little bit of a break, we're doing so well. They got 2 wins on the bounce. Faltered a little bit in that last match, only getting a draw against a team that everyone's been saying they could get some points from. That was Team Flash. Last match is Apogee Poland, who are coming off a win, Aggie.
Yeah, and I think it will also frustrate them the way that they actually dropped 2 points against Atlantic, because they had the lead until the 90th minute, where they lost possession and they got punished. So this is a key matchup for them, and I really feel like that it decides whether it's been a great day or it's been a day that could have been. So yeah, super important for Apogee. They've been having a good day. They haven't lost yet. I mean, 3 draws and 1 win, and now potentially going over to 9 points here. So everything to play for these 2 teams, and a really decisive game for the overall status of the day. Well said.
Great outing for the Polish team. As Mike said, they were actually great last year, weren't they? This is a new wave that we're seeing trying to get a trophy this time out. Riders, SPQR, let's jump in. I can hear there's noise happening over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this could be the kickstart, to end the day, possibly.
Right, let's go to it. Lee, hold that thought. We're not there yet. Now we're there.
I was building up to it. I've been in the industry a while. I was thinking this is going to happen eventually. I'll kick Phil in, but in the end, I mean, it's a great little cup. It's what you say is your traditional 2v2 if you're playing the AI, right? Your little pass back tapping is what you do. But to do that right there is fantastic. Think of the confidence booster this could be to end the day on a win, going in tomorrow and start smashing it.
It's an expression they haven't had. You saw the lock and credit, you saw the step over, attacking space, you're being aggressive, you're being decisive. That's been the major critique that I've had thus far. Is offensively, they haven't shown us gifted and talented. That's the moment. Yes, it's a tap-in, but it's how you got there.
We'll just let this one then breathe for a moment. Brombury haven't managed to break down DC United yet. We'll go back to the Leipzig game then and see what has been unfolding over there.
Well, we mentioned our Goliath going to be able to match up to Umit and Anders Verjgang. As easy as you like, that step over on the inside, you cannot give Anders and Umit that chance to just drive into that 18-yard box. They find themselves one to the good.
Yeah, we wondered, didn't we, which of the 2 would start performing in that one. It would have been great to see Goliath get the opening goal and just kind of give them some confidence. Let's see if they can get anything back in a short while. Man City then, nice to see them taking the lead against Apogee Poland. They wanted something, they possibly lost a bit of confidence, Alex.
You're saying nice to see them take the lead. If you're a Manchester City fan, if you're Apogee Poland right now, you're not happy.
What are you, a Poland fan or a Man City fan today?
Neutral.
You're wearing blue and white, so I thought you were Man City.
I'm a West Brom supporter.
He's a fan of corner kick goals.
That's true, yeah.
The corner kick goal, looping header,
that's
back
something
post.
we can agree on. Whoever's got Milinkovic-Savic in their team, I want them to do well.
But you are literally looking like a City fan here, like blue, Alex.
No, I'm definitely not a City fan.
Well, they are doing well at the moment. Apogee Poland, they've had a great day at the office so far, though. I'm sure this match won't be done. I'm sure we'll see them fight back here. Ryan and Shells are just controlling this game at the moment. Waiting for something to happen here.
Ooh.
Nice ball.
Tell you what.
When you get that bounce, you have to do something with it.
Yeah, didn't quite manage to make something happen for that, but there's a goal in this game.
It's Team Flash. And that's actually a really nice goal there.
Goal.
Just cancelling and yeah, I mean, maybe we haven't treated Team Flash with the respect they deserve, because they still come up with some upsets and potentially one more here. And I mean, both groups are really open right now.
I've been retracting statements from the jump after seeing some of the answers they've had. That was a beautiful resurface, extra pass.
I'll say up there was one of the best goals today.
I mean, we talked about how nervous teams can be.
Okay, what a reply.
Fight
Say,
back
Mike, stop
straight
talking
away.
about it. Chill out, I can hear you.
A fight back is on straight away for those guys.
Heroes, I want to know how they communicate. Because I know that Stingray's made this whole French switch, but he doesn't speak French. Fuma, I can tell by when Spencer was asking Stingray questions, he doesn't understand what's going on in those questions. So how are they communicating?
Well, we can find out tomorrow, Mike. I don't think anyone will want to talk after these matches.
Fair
They'll
enough,
be
fair
on
enough.
that team bus back to the hotel, getting a little bit of sleep. Well, we'll stick with this one. That's great to see Team Flash get another goal here. Having a look around some of the matches we have here, a lot of half-time whistles are being blown at the moment. 45 minutes left then. It is Riders though, they've still got a few more moments on the clock. They're only on 36 minutes, so early on in that. As I do just hear Apogee Poland, I think they have a response to Man City.
Response to you, I think, as well. Yeah, they got themselves one back. You don't want this one. You don't want to be Man City at all, do you? Alex don't want none of this.
I'm neutral, either side. That was a goal.
Camavinga's cooking in the middies there. Steps through, green time finish, across the body. Another one of those new items that's making a difference.
Yeah, and I think when we look at the goals, the type of goals, we've seen a lot of central attacking where the ball is on the ground, but we've also seen the combination with the early crosses. I think that was a big opportunity as well for...
Oh, it was free. The keeper was out of position. I can see Alex was getting excited. You know, the corner kicks make him feel how he feels.
I do. What can I say?
Oh, that's unlucky.
SPQR then looking for one goal before half-time, just to give them a little bit of an easier outing in the second 45 minutes.
SPQR trying something from range. There has been another goal we'll get to in a second, hopefully. But I mean, for Riders, this is what they needed. The group is so wide open to pick up 3 points. Yeah, he mentioned 6 points. This, though, just happened in the game. And it's not gone the way you'd think. Ducks America off the keeper, just smashed it into the keeper, into the net. I don't think you'll be too happy about it. There's not a lot you could do about it. It was a great little play. And that puts Ajax now in trouble.
I don't care. I'm giving them some extra credit for the skill move setup. It was gorgeous.
I thought you liked that sauce, Mike.
Wow. Come on. Goalkeeper was in awe watching what happened in front of him. There's nothing he could do.
Well, it's good for Ducks America. Again, you know, been struggling a little bit, even though they've got such a strong team in Dzizinho and Neat. Results haven't particularly gone their way, so to get a result against PH and Resende is a big statement.
It is, but we mustn't forget as well, Neat, one of the best players in Europe right now. But when you've got Dzizinho next year, both of them, we know they can play their game as and when required. As we move over to this game, DC United, I've had to double check there because Bromley have a 0.
Yeah,
quite confused.
You read that right, Alex, you did.
Is that the first time they've gone 53 minutes of not finding a goal so far in this tournament?
Maybe they've switched off. It's got a bit late and they've gone, oh, you know, we're kind of safe on
They are
day,
off the still early
day
gamer
2.
time. This is early gamer time.
What is it, on about 55 minutes? Oh, we've got to jump out of that one, I'm afraid.
They did just have their first defeat, don't forget. So, you know, they maybe took a bit of wind out of the sails. They're a young team, young players. Maybe not quite got it going. City, though, still going strong, it seems. Apogee, the Polish. Nothing coming from it. It's a pretty dead even game, that one. And in terms of that group, the fact that the results are all going their way at the moment. Obviously, Atalanta growing with Team Flash. As you mentioned, Bromby, there's still goalless at the moment. So everything in that group, everybody's bored.
Yeah, not much to separate a lot of these teams. I'm just looking around all the games. Riders have actually got the most dominant lead, and I say that they've only got a 2-goal lead, but it's been the most dominant of all the matches we're seeing on the screens at the moment. Not much to separate any of them, but this is great from this team. Their last match of the day, it'd be great to go out on a high over the youngsters, the young South American duo from SPQR.
The irony is, right, this is how tight that group is. This would put them, I think, joint second. Is it not? I think they'd be joint second. I'm not too sure. I put them on 7.6 points.
They've currently got 3 points, so they'd go up to 6.
So they'd be third. So after a disastrous start, effectively, they'd still be third.
What did I say? They will get through. You can count on them getting through somehow, some way. They find a way.
You don't win a tournament in groups, right? That's the old golden rule.
Ooh, we can see a massive goal. You can hear it.
I think that was Polish.
It was Polish. Heartbreak then for Man City and the English fans as Poland just take a 2-1 lead over Manchester City.
The confidence there, just to strike that at the near post. I was expecting an elastico, a ball roll, scoop, something, just to take it on the inside. Just went, no, I'm going to go that near post.
Questionable goalkeeping as well. From that distance, typically that doesn't go out. I was wondering if they started to scoot the goalkeeper maybe, early goalkeeper movement, threw it off the animation a little bit.
No, it's the mind games that you do play, isn't it, with these players? When you get in on goal, that goalkeeper movement is such a massive part. As we come over to this game, RB Leipzig on that attack, come through, drive that byline, the ball roll, the composure, the time. It is just absolutely beautiful FIFA. I was about to give Goliath some credit to say if they can hold it to a 1-0, although it's a loss, they'll probably walk out of that going, hey, look, we can actually have a bit of confidence from that. 2-0, still though, Anders and Omit are showing us why we put them to the top of that group.
And that was a professional goal for them. You see the body feint, an extra step over, a lot of time to work with. Doesn't matter where you move the goalkeeper, near post, finish it off, 2-0. And it also creates the first time that we've seen massive separation today. That should have them on 13 points. They're a couple games clear of anybody.
Yeah, I mean, group of death, they've just smashed it all day long.
Yeah, similar to what we saw from ex-Raptors earlier on in Group A. Well, Team Flash, Atlantine Wave, we've had some more action in that matchup. Well, you can see who's on the attack there. Keeper saved that one, wasn't going to save the rebound there. Thierry Henry with that one for Atlantine Wave, 2-1 over Team Flash.
And August smiles every time Henry scores. I think as an Arsenal supporter over here, he just... what can I say? I just noticed you get a grin. You get a grin.
It means something to me.
The good old days. They couldn't quite manage it this year, could they? Anyway, let's not dwell on the Premier League. Let's go back to this Apogee Poland. Man City. Man City with a pause here. Can they change much up for the last 10 minutes or so, Alex?
I've got that dog in them. I'm sure Shells and Ryan will keep going with 10 minutes on that clock. But for Apogee, they've looked solid. They're going to be like, we're going to take that
undefeated if they win this game.
They haven't conceded many.
And we just had a really, really good goal there from Goliath Gaming.
I think we're going to jump into that one, Aggie. We can pause and we'll get that, and then you can tell us exactly how it unfolded. I think this is the 90th minute, though, from this Ducks America game. We can jump over.
And we think we get it here. It's a lot of dancing in the box as we like it. Some elasticos. There, Liao.
That is,
it's composure, and it buys them a chance to make a comeback and secure them potentially one very, very vital point.
Alex, you said as well 2-1 would be a great result. They've got one back against RB Leipzig is massive.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, they're going to go for that point, of course. They are going to keep fighting until the end of that whistle. But against the former world champ, and Anders in itself.
Hang on, it's gone back the other way again. We're just talking it up now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know how this has happened. Since we watched that highlight, they've scored 2 more. There's another highlight right after this. They go back to back.
Every time we look at a replay, they score another. Finishing style here.
Just everything that I just said about 2-1 and be confident, just scrap that.
Just forget it.
Should we just rewind?
Yeah.
It was
30
almost
seconds.
like you score against us, right? Smash 2 in, quick reply.
But we've got to speak about Leipzig and their performance as well for today.
4
Like we spoke
goals.
about the group of death, right? But Leipzig, they just pretty much destroyed everyone today. 13 points and winning convincingly. It's not just like 1-0 wins. It's comfortable wins, which sends out a statement.
Well, they remind us, don't they, of the Raptors who we saw earlier on. We might get to see them a little bit later because I think A will take on C, but obviously not top of the table in each of those groups, which will be exciting when we get to it. If we get to it, Mike.
And also their opponents adjusted to them. Nobody wanted to play at the RB Leipzig's pacing of the game. And that's why some of the games were lower scoring. It took a second for them to get going, but once they got the goals, they added more to it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had another goal as well, and we can jump to that one. Riders taking on SPQR. Oh! Can we see that one?
Yes, we're taking a look at the highlights from RB Leipzig there.
We've just gone. Oh, Alex, we're back with you.
We're back
Highlights.
with me,
You were talking about the highlights.
We're getting there.
We've gone 4 as well. In the space of that, we went 2 more for Riders, 3, and then 4.
Look, I mean, we come back to it. The 2 goals have been scored. Yeah, I mean, it's Riders just suddenly banged 2 in. Both very similar, but you know what? That's how it is. This group is absolutely wide open. Other than Leipzig, everybody else is completely open. We talk about group of death. They could go in anyway. We don't really know.
Alex, I think we're going to get the highlight of the 4th goal. Do you want to talk about it?
I'd love to.
We might see you though.
Yeah,
we might see you.
I would like to talk
Highlight
about
their
the goal when we get
posture
it.
on the couch over there.
Here it is. Alex, this is your time.
Right, here we are then. So, Riders, they wanted the 6 points. They're not going to get that. They are going to get 4. Bellingham on that drive. Time, composure.
That wasn't the good one. The third one was the good
It's still a nice and composed finish. And hopefully we'll get some confirmation of this very soon. I actually think Team Flash have equalised in the 90th minute against Atalanta. I believe. 2-2. Don't quote me on it, but I think.
You said it now. It's growing.
It is. I'll put it out there.
It's out there.
You've teased it, my brother. Can we see that? Can we get confirmation?
We'll get it in a moment, I guess. I mean, closing out this game, obviously, this is the confidence boost the Riders needed. They clearly did not start well today. They had, I mean, obviously the first game was definitely a problem for them. Obviously, we had that big delay in the Leipzig game, which clearly knocked them out their rhythm. I mean, they were 1-0 down 83rd minute anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But a win here at the end of the day, then they can now go in tomorrow and go, you know what, we are the defending champions. We know what we can do. They've seen Leipzig doing it, and they're going to do the same tomorrow.
Yeah, 4 then points out of a possible 6, which they were after in these final 2 matches. I think the Man City ones had a bit of a problem against Apogee Poland. That hasn't finished yet, to my knowledge. So I believe it's 1 more match just to clear up. We were on about 60 odd minutes in that one. So when we can see that when everyone else is leaving, this is going to be quite distressing for the Man City boys. Everyone else is leaving, and Apogee Poland and them are still sitting there waiting and going, we haven't quite finished yet. So just watching everyone else leave. Sorry, they have finished. It's United and Brøndby. And Atalanta waving Flash. So a couple of teams have finished, a couple haven't. Excuse me for that. I'm getting an update as it comes in. I'm just looking behind as well. Obviously you can see all the teams there. Some have finished, some haven't.
You can see the Brøndby ones back underway, so they've got a long way to go, only 55 minutes.
We've got them back now, as Lee just alluded to. So yeah, long way to go. We had a couple of problems, as we have had this evening. Apologies for that again. Let's see what happens in the final moments. I say final moments, there's still a long way to go.
It'll be the first game that Brøndby don't score, and if it ends this way, it's a long way to go though, I think. Still, August, your boys, they're starting strong today. Brøndby, you know, the young lads coming in. You talked about this, the young upcoming superstars effectively with something to prove. Teamwork kicking in well for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, regardless of what this last match for them is going to pan out of, I think they'll be satisfied with the way they played, with the way they expressed themselves on the pitch, and I think it gives them a lot of confidence going into tomorrow, where they don't need a lot of points to officially go through, and they could get free here as well, and I think they'll try to chase it because it is a very aggressive and offensive team Brøndby has, and they also have a third player they can switch in, so they have different strengths to play on, which is interesting because not all teams have three players here.
Would they switch in the third player, do you think, tomorrow, or wait if they got through to the round of 16?
I think that the coach, which he's funnily enough also my old coach when I was playing at the FIWC back in Madrid and in 15, so I know his way of thinking, and he's not afraid to make changes or to tell you if something needs to change. So I think we'll definitely see it, and as we speak of it here, it's a goal for Brøndby.
Most energy we've seen out of the boys as well, a little send-off for the day.
Yeah, and they've been very verbal actually when they score, and I think it's also to send a message to their opponent and taking advantage of, because he's from the old school.
He is from the old school. If you guys don't know about the old school, he used to pop off, get in people's faces a little bit, make some noise. Everything had an explanation point.
Well, that goal does mean they're got a lead now, and that would take them to 10 points. That would actually make them top of the table. Apogee Poland on 9, Atlanta Wave on 9 as well. Still a few more moments though left in this matchup. Just going to restart it as we get a nice view of the stadium. Just looking behind, see what else is going on. A lot of the teams now finished, they're packing up, finishing for the evening. That's DC United then on your screen there. So obviously they haven't finished their matchup, we're still in that one.
I was going to ask who do you think is going to be the most happiest of today, but it's a pretty obvious answer really. It's obviously Leipzig and Raptors from earlier on today. But outside of that, do you think everyone, who do you think is going to be up? No, because I'm not going to say unhappy with the play, because that's easy to answer.
I was going to say Goliath has to walk away and say, look, we put our foot in the right direction. If we come out tomorrow and do the job, we're going through. We're moving on. I think it's safe to say that the majority would not have had them in that group finishing top 4.
Yeah. I mean, it is the group of death, you're right, but everyone talked about the battle being SPQR and Ducks, right? Nobody mentioned Goliath. Everybody expected them to be bottom of that group.
And they deserve to be where they are. It wasn't luck of the bounce. It wasn't a misplay here or capitalize on a mistake. They outplayed their opponents.
It's a true credit to 2v2, obviously club football. It is all about the teamwork, and these are two guys that have been together for 5, 6, 7 years as a pair throughout South Africa, visiting tournaments. It's long travel from South Africa, no matter where they go in FIFA.
Yeah, well, Goliath, though, have had a great day. Finished on 7 points, didn't they, in Group C. This hasn't finished, though, still. Still 20 minutes left for these guys. Uh-oh, right, Brøndby on the attack again. Nothing came of that one, of course.
I thought you were broken for a minute there, Mike. You said uh-oh and just stopped and stared and you didn't move.
I was just stoned.
You were transfixed on it.
I could see what's happening.
You were fearing for your DC United. I
didn't like what I saw. There was a lot of space to work with. Brøndby and space, it goes well together.
DC United said in the interview that they're very much a counter-attacking team, that they like to kind of sit deep and hit on that counter-attack.
They've made an adjustment already where they're doing a lot of pressing right now, so they're all in on this. So they could get an equalizer, and even after an equalizer, if they get it early enough, they might push on and try to go for more.
Do you think you have to be a very confident pair to say, we're going to let you have the ball and we're going to sit deep, we're going to trust our defensive positioning, our communication to one another? Like, that is how, yes, Tuga and Andoni, when they have the ball, they can really break down your opponent slowly, but they know if you have the ball for 20 minutes, they're okay with that, they don't mind. They're back their ability. Do you think DC United might also be a case of sometimes you do need to try and take the game to the opponent more?
Well, I've got a couple points to this. I don't consider Tuga and Andoni to be passive players defensively. They'll still put you under pressure, you just can't get the ball off them, so it's very different. They're slower and more methodical with the build-up play than maybe I would be able to do or prefer at times. However, with King CJ and Adjit, I think one of the situations here is Adjit is a crazy defensive, possession-based, switch-the-pitch type of player. So if you're going to partner together, you're forced to kind of adjust. The same way we talk about if you're playing with Anders, or if you're playing with Oostin. I think everyone here knows FIFA Oostin. If you play with Oostin in a 2v2, you know what you're committing to. He's crazy. I can't predict what he's going to do. I don't know how he's going to play. I can't figure out what he's even thinking. If you ever played against him in a 1v1, if you've never done that, your first game, you'll be disrespectfully beat.
But you know that he's not going to stop up and play it back.
No, he's not.
A little bit of housekeeping then, a bit of update. These guys are looking a little bit frustrated, DC United. That's because we've had another technical problem. 15 minutes left in game for those guys against Bromby, losing 1-0 at the moment. A lot of time left. On the contrary, Atlanta Wave, they're up against Team Flash. They had breaking news here, 10 seconds left in the game.
Oh, no.
They've agreed to forfeit that, don't
Okay.
worry. 2 apiece there, so we are going to... It was a 2-all.
You saw a late goal. It was 2-all.
So they did leave it with that. 10 seconds, not enough surely to make anything change in that result, but we've still got 15 minutes then
Three
left.
draws for Flash.
3 draws for Flash. They're on 3 points. They're correct. That's how they finish after 5 games. So we're still actually in play mode. 15 minutes. Let's see. We saw a Bromby there. They were kind of sleeping on that one. They were saying, come on, guys. We are 1:45 now. They still want to finish, though. They don't want to come back and have to play 15 minutes tomorrow. That wouldn't be great. So let's see if they can get reconnected, and we will obviously bring you the end of that match if we can. But Spen now is down on the floor. I believe you're chatting to the boys from Atlanta Wave. If you are Spen, I want to know, can Fuma speak English? That's the word everyone wants to know. How does he chat to Stingray? Are you speaking to them?
Okay. Yes, Rachel, thank you very much. I'm here with the guys from Atlanta Wave. I've just been asked a question. Fuma, do you speak English? You do? They weren't sure if you did. They weren't sure how you communicated, but you speak English?
Yeah, I speak English, yeah.
There you go. That's how they communicate. I'll ask you a question instead then. You're one of 5 unbeaten teams out of the 24 teams taking place today. Only 5 are unbeaten. Yes, you've drawn 3 and won the other 2, obviously. That last game, which you kind of agreed to not play the last 10 seconds, you were winning until that last... It was actually a goal that finished the game. So it could have been 3 wins. But generally, are you happy with today?
I think it's a good day, but we can do so much better. I think we are better than every team in the group, and we drop like stupid points today. So we have to do better tomorrow.
What's it like playing with Stingray?
Sorry?
What's it like playing with Stingray?
It's really good. He's one of the best players in the world, so I can just be happy to be with him.
Fantastic stuff. And Stingray, just quickly before I move on, you're feeling, I know you wanted 15 points, you wanted to come out all guns blazing, but considering the start you made last year and you still got out the groups, this is more than good enough, isn't it, to make a splash and still win the group?
No, of course. I mean, obviously the goal is now to top the group. We're pretty confident we should be able to get through from tomorrow, but yeah, much better than last year. About 1 point in 5 games last year, so you can't really complain.
Yeah, no, it's improvements and it's good. And listen, these guys look solid, and I think anyone will do well to beat them. Yes, they've drawn 3, but they haven't lost. That's important. We're going to make our way down the stage now, and we'll see if I can chat to anyone from RB Leipzig. But it looks like they're in deep conversation there, so we're going to keep moving down. And we're going to go to my friends from Apogee Poland, because we spoke to them at the start, and they'd drawn their opening 2 games. They'd drawn them both 0-0. Who wants to speak? We're going to go with you again, my friend. So, quick chat again. We'll have a sit. So last time we came down here, I think you had a couple draw. You did 1 draw. You'd played 1 game and you'd drawn it. That was a 0-0. Then you drew 0-0 again, and everyone was talking, myself included. I was saying these guys don't score goals. They only draw 0-0. And then you've gone and followed it up with another draw and 2 wins, which means you're unbeaten. You're one of 5 teams out of 24 that have not lost a game today. But the fact that you finished with those 2 wins, it's really good momentum, isn't it, going into tomorrow?
Yeah, the beginning was tough. 3 draws are decent, okay, but we prefer always to win. In fact, after 2 games we haven't scored any single goal. It was tough mentally, but we broke it, and we won last 2 games. It's really cool to finish first game unbeaten, first of all, and then with 9 points. We are happy how we bounced back, and we're playing right now really good, and looking forward for tomorrow.
Guys I was just speaking to up there, Atlanta Wave, they're the top of the group with you. They've got the exact same record of 2 wins and 3 draws. Obviously, you've got to play them again tomorrow. You drew with them today. Do you think you can beat them tomorrow?
It would be perfect timing to beat them tomorrow, but we prefer to focus game by game. Then we will face them and maybe smash them.
Maybe smash them. I love that. Listen, you're having a great tournament. Keep it up. Interesting fact: there's only been 2 0-0s in the whole tournament so far, and you guys played in both of them, so that's a record. But there's plenty more records to be had for Apogee Poland. They're looking good to get out of the group, maybe against what people would have predicted. Anyway, let's head back to Rachel now and get this last game finished.
Well, Mike wanted to speak to you, Spen, there a little bit about Fuma, but I think you might have left. Are you still there, Spen?
I'm still here. I can
still
talk.
Go on, listen to Mike. He's got something to say here.
Well, I didn't think that he spoke Stingray English, which can be very complicated. And then Rich was confirming with me earlier, he's like, no chance. So now that we have confirmation, we appreciate that, Spen. Thank you so much. I want to blame it on Richard. Because Richard's not here, so I'm just going to put it on Richard.
Richard, Spen.
Where did Richard go?
I don't know.
Richard left.
Richard's
gone.
You guys are just squabbling over there, aren't you?
I'm ready to
It's not
squabble
even a question.
It's midnight.
You
What
just
you want?
brought me back in just to say thank you to me. I appreciate
Don't
it.
challenge me. I'll walk to you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Richard said Stingray and Fuma only spoke FIFA. Basically, Spen was the reason I wanted to know if he spoke English. You cleared it up. Lovely jubbly. Thank you for telling us that.
No problem.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Right, there we go. That's, put that question mark to bed. Mike, we got the answer. He does speak English and Stingray English and FIFA, all 3 languages.
He also swims well.
And French, I'm guessing.
For sure.
He swims well.
Yeah. You gotta hang out with Stingray. All right, stop. I'll stop. I was going very dad jokes here. Okay? It's getting close. Midnight, it doesn't go uphill. It goes downhill at midnight, all right?
Right.
My mom always said nothing good after midnight. I'm on that path.
I like Mama LaBelle. I like her a lot. Shout out to her. She's probably watching. Okay. We might. I'm going to look over my shoulder. I'm going to not look at the camera. Are we getting ready to play? Dunno there. Right, might be. Well, we got 15 in-game minutes left. That's not that in real time. 30 seconds apparently till we get going. Does it look like it? Yeah? They are looking at their teams. I hope Bromby haven't gone to sleep. They look like they were going to sleep. DC United though, 15 minutes to change their fortunes. They are 1 goal down as we resume 76 minutes on the FIFA clock. Can we get into it? I'm going to shake this like a player and go, oh, my hands are cold.
It did get chilly. It definitely cooled down.
Freezing in here, Mike. Absolutely.
You're not in here, but you need a jacket. I know you're cold. I guarantee you're cold.
You see,
Facts. Guys, I've got facts for everyone at home. This actually, in real time, is an ice rink.
It is.
That's why it's so cold.
Actual ice underneath there.
That's why it's cold. Anyway. Right, Group C, that's finished. Bring you up to speed. The top of that, we've obviously got Poland 9, Atlanta Wave 9, these guys still playing 7, Man City finished on 5, DC on 3, Flash on 3. That's not right, let's get out of that because I haven't finished, has it? Right, anyway, we're going. We're in game. 77 minutes. Let's finish this out. Oh, DC coming back. Mike LaBelle, are your boys?
I hope so. They're going to bring the pressure. It already was activated beforehand. There's a lot of space to work with. That's not a good sign. Why do you do that to me? Why do you set me up there? There we go. Let's go, post. Come on.
One thing here that DC United definitely have a bit of a good thing to go for this. Because the game's obviously had to go and restart, they've gone on that press on possession loss. They've already gone through and changed that pressure tactics. They've got full stamina again. Meaning they can be more aggressive and they can run press down for the last 15 minutes.
Come on!
Banger!
That's what a break does for DC United. Back in the game, 10 minutes left, all to play for.
I unplugged that.
He celebrated so hard he unplugged himself. That's how much Mike enjoyed that game. Honestly, that was a good goal.
Goal of the day.
Yeah.
Goal of the day.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's subjective.
There's been some good goals. Raptors scored some pretty impressive goals earlier on today, but that is a vital goal, is what that is for DC.
I hope they stay with the pressure. They need a win here. I don't think a draw does enough for DC United based on their day.
They want it all now.
They need to go for it. They have to go for it.
And they're not in a position where like a draw is enough for them. Like they need to add more points to the tally and try to use these last 9 minutes. It's always such a hard thing that when you just switch to like ultra attacking and you put a lot of men forward, you're going to be in doubt when you get that consolation goal to 1-1. You're going to be thinking, should I go for the 3 points? Because it's almost like the high pressure isn't working as well. But yeah, they're definitely going to go for it, but the same as Brøndby.
Well, they're going for it again now. Come on, Mike. Give it a lucky charm. DC United. Brøndby 1-3.
This is not the end of the world if they were to suddenly lose it, so they can afford to go for it. They've got nothing to lose. They've already picked up some big wins today, so they're coming into this with high confidence.
Speaking about that,
down, isn't it?
That stamina as well. DC United have got the advantage. They've turned over like ball-sider. You're not doing that if you're in a normal scenario where you have that stamina drain. Just giving them that advantage to get those men over, make it more difficult for you to break down, try and grab that all-important winner. But, Rachel,
they took off the pressure.
1 minute of added time. This might be the longest game in FIFA history, but we are wrapping it up.
Longest day of FIFA history as well, Alex, I think. Well, there we have it. 1 point each for those two teams. Good result, I'm going to say, for DC. Not looking super happy. They're going to chat to each other later, and they have to come back and do it all again tomorrow. Those guys, though, will be disappointed, losing 2 points there. Well, Group C finished a short while ago. Let's just wrap up the results from round 5. Duxen 1-0 over Ajax. Great result for them. Goliath had a bad result against RB Leipzig, losing 4-1 there. Riders 4-0, great result to end out their day against SBQR. Okay, well, that is round 5 completed for Group C. We can have a look at the table as well now, just to round out the day. RB Leipzig sitting there at the top with 13 points, 7 for Dux America and Goliath Gaming. Then 6 goes to Riders, good end to their day, just to put them back up to 4th, in a position to go through to Saturday. 5 points for Team Ajax Brazil. Expect a little bit more from them. SPQR on 3. Comeback is on then, Lee, for Riders.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's 4 points, the difference between second and last right now. So that group, other than Leipzig, they're done and through. It's wide open. Anyone that has a good day tomorrow, you could be in.
Yeah, exactly. Dux America as well. Good showing to end out their day, finishing second on 7, Aggie.
Yeah, definitely, and they will try to take that with them until going on to tomorrow. And yeah, the group is wide open. I mean, Leipzig, we can definitely say they're going through to the knockout stage, but the other 5 teams have everything to play for. And tomorrow, when they get, I expect it to get more intense. I expect more feelings to be shown, and especially in this group where nothing is decided.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was Group C. Let's just quickly wrap up Group D, round 5 results. And Atlanto Wave 2-all to Team Flash. Remember, 10 seconds were left. They said forfeit that. Let's share the points. DC and Brøndby, 1 each there, 1 point apiece. Man City, unfortunately, did lose to Apogee Poland 2-1 in the end. So, that's your results. Back to that lovely shot of the studio to end out day 1. Let's see then the table for Group D after day 1. Apogee Poland 9, Atlanto Wave 9 as well. Brøndby on 8 after a really good start. Man City struggled a bit in the end on 5. DC on 4, and Team Flash 3 points. Great end to their day. Well, an amazing day of action here on day 1. We do, though, have our top 5 goals for you from both A and B and C and D to show you right now. Okay, first one comes from YMCA. Were they having a bit of a party, Mike?
Want me to get going? I'll get going. Beautiful goal. Sees the goalkeeper come off his line, out of position, goes for glory, and receives that glory indeed.
Well, this is Hollywood then. The Australians, they didn't have a great day, but they had a great goal, didn't they, Lee?
Yeah, not a bad one, not a bad finish. Good team goal overall from between the two.
Next up, Raptors then. They had the support. Alex, that was great.
Yeah, having that confident ability in yourself. Just to go for that long-range finesse shot. You get that time and room, you can deliver.
This one.
This one, Lee's pointing at it.
Oh, yes. You love to see it. Bit of disco dancing on the box right there. I think Mike loved that one at the time as well, if I remember.
Mike will love this one. It's from your boys.
Chips and the sauce.
There you go, number 1.
Mike, yours. Go, take it.
Overs in the right position at the right time. Unfortunately, got them a draw, but unfortunately, they need to do some work. They need to do some work tomorrow. That's where I'm at right now.
Well, DC United might have to do some work, but the ex-Raptors and RB Leipzig, they are very much in control. 13 points for Leipzig and 13 points as well for ex-Raptors. Obviously, you've got the Saudi team. Expect a party in here again tomorrow. Lee, Alex, thanks so much for joining us. Aggie and Mike as well. I don't know where the other two went. I mean, I think Richard and Brandon went back to the hotel for a nap. Spen's still there, he's grinding, he's getting all the gossip. Anyway, that is day one of the FIFA E Club World Cup done and dusted. We get to go again tomorrow. We're saying it's the away fixtures for everyone. 5 more matches for everyone to contest before we find out who goes through to the round of 16. Well, thanks for sticking with us in what has been a challenging afternoon here. But I promise you, we'll have no technical difficulties tomorrow. I can't promise it, but I just said it on air, so you never know what's going to happen. Anyway, guys, good night from all of us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.